I transmigrated into the body that holds my heart. Part 4. I'm here again, watching Tristan's sleeping face. God, I've officially become a stalker. It's been half a month since he first regained consciousness. Half a month and no one visits him except his business partner, Rolf, the coffee guy. The same one I saw that day. He opened his eyes. Tomorrow, I'm checking out of the hospital. My family's just finalizing the paperwork. After that, I'm out. Out of excuses. Out of reasons to hover. Out of this bubble where I can pretend my feelings aren't spiraling out of control. Greed. I know, since I become Chrysia, I've become too greedy. I felt like wanted to have it all. Being Chrysia, I almost had it all. From material things, to family. Only one thing is missing, and that is to make this handsome, sleeping man in front of me be mine. I know the odds are thin. Laughably thin. A marriage proposal from the Zanes to a Xavier is already absurd. That he'd actually say yes. Even more so. Still, here I am, stealing these last few seconds, letting my eyes memorize his face, peaceful, unbothered, beautiful. I've gone completely delusional. This new bravery, it's dangerous. This second life, it's turned me into something I don't fully recognize. Someone who wants, who takes, who dares. It's just wishful thinking, I know. He can always say no. Still, I whisper under my breath, barely audible. I hope you won't. When I got out of the hospital, I cried as I bid farewell to my doctors, nurses, and even interns. I hope not to see you soon, declares our family doctor. Indeed, I also hope not to see them soon. Because if I do, then it means something went wrong with the heart in me. I still have my monthly checkups and monitoring, but the doctor can schedule a monthly home visit for that. I stared at Tristan's door before I leave. He was having his doctor's rounds that time. I badly want to introduce myself, but forced not to. Dad haven't talked to him. I don't want to ruin my thin chance. For now, I'll just have to let it be. Take care of him for me. I told the nurses. They all give me an assurance grin and nodded teasingly to me. A grand party awaited me at our ancestral home. And when I say grand, I mean absurdly extravagant. Not just a mansion like the one I used to live in. This was a full-blown luxury estate. A resort dressed as a palace, straight out of a drama series. One colossal main mansion, surrounded by several others, each owned by a member of the family. Apparently, having a personal 8-bedroom mansion was just normal. As if I could sleep alone in a house that massive. Hansel had won the twins too. Even Aunt Lou, a single mom, had her own mini palace. Dad and Aunt Lou were the only siblings in this generation, while Mom was an only child. It made our tight circle feel oddly royal. The party itself had taken over the central garden. Twinkling fairy lights, a string quartet, guests in tailored suits and designer gowns. This wasn't just a welcome party, it was a coronation. I walked in, wearing the most expensive gown I'd ever put on. Silk, beadwork, a train that could sweep egos off the floor. I clung to my brother's arm as we entered. The crowd erupted in polite applause and cheerful greetings. I didn't know everyone, but I had gathered enough intel from family gossip and staff chatter to nod and smile convincingly. Then, my attention locked onto someone unexpected. Jacob Evans, Martha's cousin. I raised an eyebrow. A second-tier millionaire from B-City, invited to Chrysia Zane's welcome party. I can't help myself, but I'm curious. And there she was, clinging to his arm like perfume on silk. Claire, my ever-elegant nemesis. She was dressed plainly for the occasion, clearly trying to look understated and expensive. Her posture said everything. Her outfit didn't chin high. Back straight, chest out as if her curves could compensate for her dull gown. I'll admit it, she had the figure. But I paid her no mind. I wasn't here for petty revenge. Truth be told, this life, this second chance was more of a blessing than a curse. I'm even thankful. I smiled, genuinely, and turned to my brother beside me. I could feel their eyes on me, full of admiration and curiosity, but I gave my attention to those who mattered. My family. The party was exhausting. I slipped away, unnoticed, toward the back corner of the gardenier, the maze that no one dared enter at night. There, tucked in the shadows, was a quiet bar counter. Elegant, intimate, like a secret escape waiting to be found. Whoever organized this event deserved a standing ovation. Ms. Zane, a voice cold, familiar, and sharp enough to slice through silk, called out behind me. If he hadn't used Crezia's name, I would have thought he was calling out to me. I turned slowly. Jared Evans, Jacob's older brother. The man who practically raised Martha alongside their grandfather. His face was more worn than I remembered, shadowed by sleepless nights and a storm of unspoken grief. Unlike Jacob, who floated through the crowd with practiced charm, Jared carried the weight of loss like a second skin. His dark eyes scanned me, filled with questions. And something else. Disappointment. I gave him a puzzled look. I had to stay in character. I was Chrysia Mazane with a fresh case of amnesia, and no clue who he was supposed to be. He narrowed his eyes, a crease forming on his forehead. I heard about your amnesia, but to this extent. He was angry. I'm sorry, I asked, my voice light, confused as if his presence meant nothing to me. He stepped closer. Let me remind you, since you've forgotten, he said through clenched teeth. My cousin gave her heart to you, literally, and the least you could do is be grateful. His words weren't just cold, they were cutting. I stared at him, silent for a beat. Then I reached out and gently took his hand in mine. Thank you, I said quietly, sincerely. Truly, thank you. His brows furrowed in confusion. I am grateful. Because if Martha's heart hadn't been given to Chrysia, I wouldn't be here, I said in my head. I wouldn't have this chance. A chance to live. To have a real family. To finally be loved. I added silently. He blinked, surprised by my softness. His hand trembled in mine. Chrysia, a booming voice sliced through the air between me and Jared. Jacob emerged from nowhere and wrapped me in a sudden, suffocating hug. I stiffened in shock. You're finally okay, he said with too much enthusiasm, his voice warm to warm. As if Chrysia's recovery was all that ever mattered to him. I pushed him off, hard enough to make a point. But I stopped myself. The words I wanted to say caught like thorns in my throat. Jacob looked unfazed. Oh, right, he said with a chuckle. You've got amnesia. He gave me a look so drenched in longing it made my skin crawl. It was an affection for sure. It gave me chills. Before I could say more, another ghost from the past arrived. Hi. It was Claire. She greeted me softly, shyly, her voice trembling like she rehearsed it. Oh, by the way, Jacob said, gesturing to her, this is Claire, Martha's best friend. He said Martha's name casually, as if she were still out there somewhere, as if she hadn't just died so someone else could live. Claire's eyes filled with tears, her performance falling neatly into place. The tragic friend, the grieving actress. Martha was an angel, she said, voice cracking on cue. She was selfless even in death. We're just glad that it was you who have her heart. Yeah, and she just so happened to die exactly when Chrysia needed a heart, I thought bitterly. Jacob's face twisted in manufactured sorrow, as if saying Martha's name physically hurt him, as if remembering her cost him something. I could play their little charade if I wanted to, turn their guilt into strings, and pull them like puppets in my palm. But I'm tired of the games. Tired of the guilt they toss around like confetti to absolve themselves. All I want is for them to vanish from my life. People say revenge is sweet. They're wrong. Pisa, happy, undramatic, life is sweeter. I heard from my parents that the Zanes are partnering with the Evans for a resort expansion in B City. That explains a lot. The connections, the heart, the perfect timing. It's all business, even in death. But I'm not angry, not anymore. I'm grateful. I didn't know her, I said clearly, stepping forward. But I'm blessed and thankful that, at some point in life, she existed. That she saved me. Claire blinked at me. Jacob went quiet. I promise to live this life to the fullest, I added, smiling brightly, so bright it could burn. For Martha, after all, she and I are one now. And with that, I turned, letting the weight of the moment drop like a curtain behind me. The party was over. The laughter had died down, the guests long gone, and the lights outside dimmed into nothing but golden echoes on the hedges. Now, it was just me alone in the bathroom, soaked in warm water. Muscles relaxed. Scented candles flickered around the tub like gentle little stars. A soft instrumental version of Claire de Lune whispered through the speakers. One hand gripped a half-finished glass of red wine. The other held my phone. I stared at it for a while, heart beating a little faster. Then finally, hesitantly I typed my own name. Martha Evans. The girl I once was. The girl everyone forgot the moment her heart started beating in someone else's chest. I hovered over the search button like it might detonate. Then I pressed it. The results loaded quickly. There it was. The top headline. An angel lost too soon. Martha Evans of B City remembered. I tapped. A flood of sepia-toned photos and soft glow filters met my eyes. A perfectly curated obituary. Martha Evans, beloved granddaughter of the late philanthropist Albert Evans, passed away last month after a silent battle with brain cancer. Known for her angelic beauty and gentle soul, Martha was the light of every room she walked into. Even in death, she continued to give, donating her heart to save a life. The recipient remains undisclosed. Her legacy, however, lives on in more ways than one. I stared at the glowing screen. At this beautifully wrapped lie. Silent battle with brain cancer. I scoffed. Then, I burst out laughing. A real, full-on, unfiltered laugh. The kind that bounced off the marble walls and echoed through the candlelight. Brain cancer, angel of B City. Legacy lives on. They turned me into a Hallmark martyr. If only they knew. I shook my head and wiped a tear that was half from laughter, half from something else I couldn't name. The bathwater had gone lukewarm, but her heart kept beating. I looked at my reflection on the black screen. A new face, new name, new life. Well, I murmured, smiling dryly, at least I died an angelic hero. And I toasted to my own obituary. Because why not? The world needed a saint. And Martha Evans, like always, delivered.